I'd like to read a poem, is that okay?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. What?
If with your permission, I'd like to read a poem.
Oh, you'd like to read, well, you know, I would love to hear it, but I'm afraid that we might not have the time. Could
Okay.
we, go through the rest of the testifiers and we'll see
Yeah.
where we are?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And
This is our friend Justin. Justin.
Welcome to the committee, and please just give us your full name and, go ahead and tell us what you'd like to.
Justin Page. Ever since I started attending TAP events, I felt like I just felt more normal. Like in actually a good sense of the word. Like I feel like I actually am part of a regular community instead of just constantly living on the outs. Like my whole life I've dealt with like being visually impaired and having autism and like just being bullied. Like I've been called a retard and just treated like the bottom of society for so long, and yet all because like I look normal but don't act it. Like I've always been taught that it's my fault, and all the regular service organizations keep claiming like they're trying to help me, but I feel like the TAP has a different motto. It's like do or do. It's like do or do not. There is no try. and really like that's like such a big thing. Like we need to stop the risk management based plans. Like we need to actually get people out there and doing instead of falsely believing that and waiting for their current services to try.
Thank you very much, Mr. Page. We have a question for you from the committee. Representative Halverson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Not so much a question, but I did want to give Mr. Page a little gratitude for bringing some wisdom from Yoda to the committee. We all need a little Yoda wisdom every day, so I think that was really helpful. And I did want the committee members to know and the testifiers to know I actually went to a similar program in my community a few weeks ago. And it was a dance, it was a luau on a really cold night, and it's an annual event, but they have monthly dances and monthly games, and to your point about community and what it brings to people and the humanity and it was kind of one big happy family, and they let me join in, so I was super grateful for the hospitality, and it was a pretty amazing thing to witness, so appreciate the work you do.
yeah, one of the last things I would say,
Cashman.
yes, thank you, Madam Chair. One of the last things I would like to say is that we've also noticed that this helps the community to realize that we're not so dissimilar after all, and that enjoying time with people with disability labels affords us that ability to kind of understand them more, like Justin, who feels sometimes like he has to be dumbed down, he said to me. And we want to raise people up, and that's what the TAP's all about. And so we invite everyone to the TAP, including all of you today. So thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
All right, well, thank you very much, Mr. Cashman. And we do have one other question from a member of the committee, but before we do that, first of all, we do have a quorum, so the chair will move House File 1176 to be laid over for possible inclusion in the committee bill. So we've got to get that taken care of. And then Representative Zerwas has a question or comment.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and more just a comment. This is a provision that was in the supplemental budget bill last year, and I remember talking to the previous author at that time with the former finance chair, and we tracked down the previous author and said, we love your bill, we think it's great. I think there's a typo you're only requesting 10,000. And nobody in HHS only asked for $10,000. So we assume you need $100,000. And they said, no.
And we do.
They said, no, the request is for $10,000. And so, Madam Chair, I was just, in talking with the advocates, and with the previous author of the bill, Representative Lee, and Representative Chung, thanks for taking this on this year. I think it's a great program, and I know the budget is tight. I know budget targets will be challenging, and it always is as you put together the bill. But 10,000 is a really easy number to just kind of slip in there, and I for one hope that there's a possibility to include this in your funding bill this year.
Thank you, Representative Zerwas. We'll pass the hat around here. See if we can get up to that number. And I have Representative Kunesh-Podein.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for sharing your stories with us. Mr. Cashman, what does TAP stand for? What does it mean?
It's a good question. It stands for Tapping All Possibilities. Because what we want to try to be is a resource as well as a place to hang out and have fun and meet friends. We also want to be a place where we can help them to find the resources that they need as they go forward and become more independent. So we just tap every and all possibility that comes our way.
Thank you. I really like that idea of tapping everybody's potential and bringing folks into the world the way that you have. So thank you very much.
And I might just add to that quickly. Our motto
Mr.
is,
Cashman.
thank you, is proudly dislabeled. And all of our marketing information says that. And if you'd like a sticker or a card with that on it, you got it. I'm seeing it over here later. I'll hook you up.
Thank you, Mr. Cashman. Representative Loeffler, last question.
Okay, well, actually, it's a request, and that is, Mr. Cashman, I'd like you to take a little time and talk to the Olmsted Planning Office. We are under a federal court order called the Olmsted Settlement, in which we are directed and are moving ahead to move more people who are diagnosed as having disabilities, along with lots of abilities, into more integrated, independent, in the community living situations, which sometimes means being isolated. If your life revolved around staying around a group home and having those roommates around you all the time and that sort of thing. And I think they should know about this kind of a model that isn't run by a traditional nonprofit. It reaches out across a variety of people and brings them truly into a supportive community in a different way.
And that, yeah,
And
I
the
just want-
Olmsted office, I'm sure, would be glad to spend some time with you.
All right, Mr. Cashman.
as well. Yeah, I agree completely with that. I mean, that is one of the things that first got us thinking about the TAP was the isolation and the loneliness factor. Because as we move people into more independent settings, then they spend a lot of time at home and they don't have opportunities to operate in culture as we all can. We can just freely go and hang out at a nightclub or dance or go to coffee with a friend. But sometimes that's limited to our friends with varying disability labels. So to your point, I agree.
All right, well, thank you very much. I just wanted to comment too, our members were hearing this on a day when we're hearing various bills around mental health, and I think I also am very intrigued by this program, which is why we're hearing the bill. Representative Zerwas, I remember the hearing that we had previously, and I think you make a very compelling case. It's really very intriguing. I do have just a couple questions, Mr. Cashman. So you kind of alluded to where you get money now and kind of where are you getting whatever funding you're getting, and what kind of budget do you have? I'm kind of curious, how did you arrive at this number of 10,000?
Well, it was actually working with Senator Fonher, and he suggested the amount, and he said, let's come in, apparently, as the representative has indicated, very low. So we just really wanted to kind of get this more about the exposure than anything else. I mean, right now we just do from private donors. We are a 501c3, and we don't have a ton of funding coming in, but we just felt like if we got a chance to have a voice here, that would be even more important than the $10,000.
And then, Mr. Cashman, what would you do with the extra money? I mean, I realize it's small in our world here, but, you know, what, do you have sort of a thought of if you were to get the 10,000, what would you do? That would be
Absolutely.
different.
As I indicated earlier, and I'll go into a little more detail about it, it's
Just
just
a
to
little.
cover our costs. You know, we have real costs for every event that we host. And some of our larger events can cost a little more, some of our smaller events not so much, but it does take those funds to kind of carry us through. And this funding would really help to get us through probably into the fall of this next year, this year.
All right, well, thank you very much. I'm sorry we don't have time, Mr. Scamble, I think. Scamble. If you have could you email us the form or?
Sure, it would be 30 seconds.
It's 30 seconds?
30 seconds if I
Okay,
could
well
just
then
allow
please-
my conclusion time to him.
Okay. Come on up and read us the poem and then we'll lay the bill over.
Thank you again, everyone.
I can read it kind of fast, too.
No,
Thank you, I really appreciate it. This is a poem that I wrote very shortly after I joined the TAP. It's called I'm Found. Tied up, bound, stuck downtown, upside down. I just can't come around to the fact I have to just sit down and think. Try not to drink, simmer my thoughts, playing around with the plots that are my life inside my mind. So damn rough, a veritable roller coaster ride for so long, so dark. A mark on my soul, feeding the troll inside, and yet I still abide as idiocracy. Try to avoid the fallacy of that final drop. Wait, what's this? A light. A bird taking flight, almost dropping to the ground, but somehow new flight is found. The atmosphere is here, I'm inbound, here I come. I'm found, thank God I'm found.
All right, thank you very much for sharing that with us. Wonderful. Thank you, and thank you very much, Representative John. And this has been thank you very much to all the testifiers, and thank you for the good work that you do. And the bill will be laid over for possible inclusion in the omnibus.